Preparing live stream for the meeting. This meeting is being live streamed. Got it. Right. It's setting up the YouTube. It might be live any second. Preparing live stream for the meeting. This meeting is being live streamed. Got it. Hello. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
That was weird. It's weird how it came out on the TV. Hello, live stream. We're live, and Laura's live. She's going to be, which is going to be a bit annoying because she won't actually be in the chat for today. So I don't know who actually is going to be in the chat. No one's going to be here. Are you actually saying anything? Can you hear? Can I hear you?
I was just allowing you to speak for one.
Oh Jesus! You've got to jump in when you can.
Fair enough. Well, do you know what? It's so annoying being on YouTube and chatting because by the time I've responded, you're well off the topic. So you're now, I'll vent for the next hour, and sure, look, hopefully.
I know you can actually have your say, and it won't be.
But
no, actually, you can't have your say because I'm here still.
The problem is, I was always kind of venting at something maybe Tom would say, kind of go on a Hamilton kind of pro Hamilton thing, and I'd be like, I need to say something. But now that he's not on it, I have no one to argue with. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I haven't done? I haven't got the theme tune. Tom's going to have to put the theme tune in later.
That's fine.
I
can sing.
No, yeah. Can you? Can you really? We've all heard you sing. Well, I've heard you sing. If anyone's wondering on the YouTube, this is my wife, and we bicker constantly. So
it'll probably be the only hour we don't bicker because we don't.
No, we're gonna bicker, I'm sure.
We actually agree most Formula One things, though. To be fair.
Yeah.
I got my dick of the day, by the way. It took me all day to think of it.
Oh, really? Yeah. How did it take you all day to think about it?
Because well, I don't want to kind of talk about too much of the show. Still trying to sort out your life up there in Dublin, but I found like no one actually did anything wrong this.
Oh, yeah. I think we're already going to disagree on something. I've just put. I'm trying to do Twitter, and we're live on YouTube talking and laughing about the US Grand Prix with Carl's life. I suppose that makes some sort of sense.
It's not Carl's life because you're not in my life anymore.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I know, husband and wife, we're about 300 kilometers apart, but
we moved to Ireland to be together. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen you since.
Yeah, he probably seen less of me.
Yeah.
Hashtag F1. I don't know what Tom normally does on this, but there, I'm going to put it out there anyway. I've tweeted. I think I've done a tweet. I've done a thing. Anyway, there. Tom likes me to Twitter. Is that even a thing? I need to text someone because I got complained at last time.
Are you texting Bez?
No, well, I've texted him already. No, I've got to text Darren.
Oh, I'd love if Darren could come on.
Darren, I don't even know where Darren is at the moment. Let me see. I've got to actually find
Darren on the YouTube chatting
together
about something until you decide to chat to us.
I don't know what's the group. I don't even know what the there is a group, but I can't remember what the group's called. This week's podcast. That's it. Tom just texted going, I did wonder what that suspicious activity on my Twitter account was. Yeah, well, I've done a thing. I've made YouTube. I've done a Twitter thing. I'm on YouTube. Right. I think I've ticked all the boxes for live.
Perfect.
I think. Okay. I'm recording.
Brilliant.
I'm just shutting all my other windows down. I've told Darren. I've told everyone. We should be good. How are we doing? Right. So, I wonder if I can do. Like Tom says, I've got to share audio, but I don't know how to do that. This is the problem, right, guys? This is the problem. This is what happens when Tom isn't here. Oh, Laura's gone very dark.
Oh,
Oh, you should come back to light.
maybe because I turned my face away.
Yeah, it does. I don't know how to share audio, so I'm not even going to bother. Imagine there's a theme tune here. Press record and zoom. Press record and zoom. Check input levels. I've sort of done that. We're here. We're sort of live. Right. Imagine song music. I don't know why I'm doing the countdown theme tune. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to the Monkeyseat. Oh, do you know what I've done? I've done a false start. I've done a false start here, okay? Because I've completely not written anything silly. Normally there's a little catch in here. The broadcast.
And I thought I was doing bad. I wish I had someone else here.
I know, that's the problem. I've got to think of something funny now. So we're live, but you know, it's no one's ever watched this part because we're live, so no one really gets it.
Hi, Darren.
Is Darren actually on it?
Yes, because I'm looking at YouTube because I'm usually the lost soul.
The lost soul. Poor Darren's going to be on his own.
Start it. I'm dying to talk. We'll be in Mexico by the time.
Oh, I don't know. Can't think of something funny. I can't remember. I can't think of anything funny.
Have we spoke on YouTube about your broken arm?
No.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for pointing that out now. That's ruined the conversation in a bit.
I mean, geez, Carl, go on.
Right, there we go. It's very boring, this one. Right, imagine music. Darren, you're going to have to imagine the music. It's you're the only one listening live. Welcome to the Monkeyseat, the podcast with Hayek, which opened... Oh, for God's sakes, I've started again. Right, let's start again. This is Laura, by the way, if anyone's confused who she is. Anyway, welcome to the Monkeyseat, the podcast that opens with high expectations and ends up exactly as it should be. We're a fully independent podcast, normally hosted by two opinionated friends who like to put the world to right. And tonight we are a bickering husband and wife team. So here's my wife, Laura. Hello, Laura.
Hi, Karen.
Anyway, hold there because I've got to keep them going. You will find us on all major podcasting platforms by searching on the Monkeyseat podcast. You can get in touch and give us a 5-star review and a shout out on the show, or you can visit the monkeyseatpod.com to support us with hard earned cash. Anyway, we are on all the socials at Monkeyseat Pod, so please get in touch and tell us why we're wrong. No one ever does that. No one tells me why I'm wrong. Well, actually, you do, but you just do it on the chat. We'd like to acknowledge all the great work by our partner charity Fairballs Rescue, who supposedly are in Europe. I didn't realise this, but they're supposedly in Europe as well as around Tom's local area, who are continuing to do great work in rehoming abandoned cats and need finding a home. And also need funding more than us. So please head to fairballsrescue.org to see how we can help. Anyway, we've made it. I think we've made it. Laura's in and out of the light there. So she suddenly goes dark occasionally. Hello, wife. This is a bit weird, isn't it?
It is. It's probably the most we'll talk to each other all week. So.
This is a true fact. I mean, last week was a bit... last week we didn't have a podcast. For a number of reasons, mostly because there was nothing to talk about, but also I broke my arm, which has been such a pain for Laura more than it has for me.
He had to call me to ask me, should I go to the hospital? And it is twice the size. He couldn't move it. I know I'm a nurse, but my God.
I broke it about 8:30. Well, I injured it at 8:30. I don't know if I broke it. Like coming down this, I was snowboarding. This is what happened. This is all Bez's fault, by the way, with the snowboarding. But yeah, I was snowboarding and then ditched it into the dry ski slope, which wasn't my finest of moments ever. I'm trying to actually see what the chat's up to. But then I managed to carry on regardless, and I and then snowboarded for another hour and a half, and then rang Laura, took my glove off, rang Laura, and was like, "What's going on here? I think I might have hurt myself a bit." So then I went into A&E and was there till 3:00 in the morning. Anyway, oh hi Darren. Oh, so Darren says hi to Laura, but not to me. Fine. Is that how it is?
It's our first time. What can I say?
Is it actually your first time?
Yeah.
I swear you've been on before.
I was invited on, which I found quite actually annoying. I was invited on during the August break to talk about the WAGs, which actually I do actually watch Formula One.
Let's talk about the WAGs. Okay, let's not talk about the WAGs. Let's talk about the grid walk.
Okay.
Well, let's start off with the grid walk. Look, there's no 2-minute challenge. Tom might put one in here, but there is no 2-minute challenge that we've got on the live stream. So me and Laura have no idea. Tom's not here, by the way. Tom's doing a theatre show, if you hadn't worked that out already. So let's start the talking point. Let's talk about the grid walk. That seems to cause more controversy this week than anything else.
Why? What? I didn't actually hear what happened.
Well, everyone's going off about Miss. So, what's his name? Oh, but I want to say Ben X. It's really not. Oh my God. Martin Brundle was doing his old grid walk, and then got snubbed by someone the Stallion.
Yeah.
And then got snubbed by Serena Williams. Or Venus Williams. I wasn't sure which it was. I'm sorry about that. And then, but I mean, Rory McIlroy talked to him.
Yeah.
He's sort of Irish. Sort of.
I mean, did you see the message that I sent you there about an hour ago about the tweet that Martin Brundle put up?
No.
Oh, like he actually put up a tweet yesterday. And he said, I felt under pressure on the grid before by people like Senna, Prost, Schumacher, Mansell, Piquet, and so on. But visiting the grid for the first time doesn't bother me. Everyone's got a job to do, but they could maybe learn some manners and respect on our patch. And I kind of think that he felt it yesterday as well.
I don't think. Sorry?
It was awkward, him doing that grid talk yesterday. It was just... I felt sorry for him being snubbed because he's not just a reporter. Do you know what I mean?
He's Martin Brundle.
Exactly. You
know, he's an F1 legend, and that's the thing. I feel, and Nico had the same problem the other week. Well, Nico had the same problem when Lewis Hamilton snubbed him, but I think that's a bit more. I think that's a bit more understandable. They've got an old rivalry anyway, and
Tom's comment here.
Yeah, and they've got a rivalry, but also it's an interesting. Also, he's there to do a job, but these people are guests. Okay, they might be paid to be there. Okay, this is my thought. If they were paid to be there, then they're paid to promote the brand of Red Bull or promote whatever brand that Red Bull is associated with or whoever or F1 is associated with. So if they're paid to be there, then fair play on them. then they should be talking to everyone and anyone, and it doesn't matter who they are. It could be the Irish media. It could be RTE. Not that we ever have RTE over there, but you know what I mean. It could be Laura Inc. It could be Monkeyseat for all I care. Out there doing the grid walk. They should still be promoting whatever they're meant to be promoting. They're paid to be promoting. If they are purely a guest, and which we know she wasn't because she was in the Red Bull thing, 10, and she was like, there's loads of pictures of her around. And I think it was more her than Venus Williams that got me, because we knew that she was a guest of Red Bull. Then she should be doing, but if she wasn't a guest and she was there on promoting a brand, she's done quite well at promoting her own brand here. Because I had never heard of her, and I sat through one of her really rubbish songs because I wanted to know who she was. And all I've worked out is she shakes her butt a lot.
I wouldn't give her that now because of what she was like on the grid. I wouldn't give her.
Hang on. Okay, I'm slightly going to defend her here. She wasn't actually that rude on the grid. Serena Williams, or Venus Williams, whichever one it is, the Williams sister, she was a lot more ruder, because she was just like, no. Well, I don't want to. Yeah, sorry, and walked off. Well, actually, what's her name? The Stallion did sort of answer a sort of question about, and to be honest, my brother's question on that was quite stupid. Have you got some rhymes for F1? Which is a bit of a really rubbish question to start off with. But she was sort of that was the second time, wasn't it? Actually, he went up to her. The first time he did get snubbed. But it was which I think it wasn't the bodyguards that pushed him away. I don't think that was a bodyguard, because it was a blonde little lad that was no bigger than I am. I think that might have been a PR person or someone.
I think it was her team.
Yeah, it was someone from her team. And he was obviously a bit of a
bodyguard on his tweet. But I feel, absolutely.
I think, but I don't get why you're there. And if you're there on the F1's patch, just get on. You know, you're there to talk about Formula One or watch Formula One. And fair play on Ben Stiller, on Rory McIlroy. You know, they did talk about Formula One and all the other big basketball players that I had no idea who they were.
Kristen Bell, that's another one who apparently snubbed. We didn't see it.
Who was that?
Kristen Bell. She's an actress who.
Yeah, I thought. Did I also see that Christina Aguilera was there? Or did I miss that? But I just feel like any of those people need to cop on.
Yeah.
What?
I felt so sorry for him doing the grid walk. I always find, like, even when whoever does it, it's such a kind of a stressful time. Like, they're all just trying to.
Yeah, but the stressful time with the grid walks. Normally, the grid walks are a bit frantic.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get into the drivers or someone, and they're busy, or they're trying to get into the mindset. That I can understand. But if you're a random celebrity walking down the bloody walkway, just cop on. And what was really annoying about this was the first proper grid walk we've had in 2 years.
Yeah.
And it just was a bit of a shame to have that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're agreeing that they're all pains in the asses. I'm going to do a Tom and drink lots of water.
I know, you make me so thirsty.
Anyway, we should really talk about the Formula One. Darren made a good point. Would have Serena chatted if it was Hamilton doing the grid talk? Darren, we'll find out in 20 years' time when Hamilton's retired and needs a job, and is walking the grid. Sorry?
I don't think Hamilton will ever do that.
No, I do agree. I do. I did find it. Yeah, I don't know as to who was Hamilton's guests there. I presume he had some.
I don't know which sister it was, William's sister. Either Serena or Venus. Actually, it was Serena. She waved the checkered flag. She had a huge chat.
Did the other sister do it previously then?
I can't remember.
I'm sure one of us have
I've
waved it before.
only got into Formula One since
Yeah.
Monkeyseat. No, sorry. I was into Formula One as a kid
Yeah.
because my brother used to always watch it. And to be fair, you have to agree, Mom does quite enjoy it. She didn't get hypnotized to
If
sleep.
she falls asleep, yeah, halfway through it, but we won't worry about that. Anyway, let's talk Formula One and some racing, because I'm bored of talking about the stupid people walking up and down there.
Lap one.
Sorry.
Lap one.
Yes, lap one. Yeah, I mean, right. No, actually, I want to go back sort of to qualifying. Okay, give me a sec.
Go back to the grid town.
What's going on with Mercedes at the moment with their engines? 3 out of 6 engines were grid penalties.
Like I really don't know. I don't know what tactics. It has to be tactics. It has to be.
No, I think there's a problem with the engine, with the Mercedes engines. Not Mercedes as a team, but the Mercedes engines, because it was
So
Bottas, it was the Aston Martin of Vettel, and the engine of Russell was at the back there, and also who else was at the back there? Sainz? Who else was right at the back? Vettel, Hamilton. No, it's Vettel, Russell, and there was someone else, but I don't think they were a Mercedes.
yeah, no.
But anyway, there's obviously an issue with that Mercedes engine.
No, do you know this whole Bottas taking a new engine? Like it's fair enough if he's crashed, fair enough if there's something. But there is, do you know, I think it's tactics. I do.
Yeah,
I
but then why you say it's tactics, but then what about the other 2 Mercedes engines that in the Williams and in the Aston? Why is the Mercedes going through more engines than any other team?
don't know.
I think there's an issue with that engine. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's obviously in the main combustion part, because Bottas only went for the main combustion. Bottas only changed the combustion area or whatever. Yeah. There is another name for it, and this is where we miss Tom, because he's got all the technical gubbings. But the main combustion engine, as opposed to anything else about it, that's what Bottas changed. While the other 2 had to full engine. I think there's an issue with that Mercedes engine. I think that's why we're changing engines a lot, and they're not as on top of it as they were. There we go.
I don't know. I do feel that whether Bottas was taking too much limelight from, like, he has since signing this new contract for next year. There's a statistic out that he has scored more points than anyone else.
That was previous to this race, yes.
Okay, fair enough. But I don't know. I kind of feel like, do they need to kind of bring him back 5 points or something, 5 grid places or something? I don't know. There's just, it didn't sit right with me. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, do you rate Bottas that much as a driver then?
I have always, since episode 1, series 1 of Drive to Survive, I have felt
where every single other person that's never seen Formula One suddenly gets involved, which is great. Apart from it's completely fictitious, but we can all agree on that.
Oh, to be fair, I watched Formula One first and then decided to Drive to Survive. Because I don't think I would have watched Drive to Survive if I wasn't watching Formula One.
Yeah.
But I felt sorry. I felt sorry for Bottas since day one. I would say that. Do you know what I mean? And sorry, I will say I do like Hamilton. Do you know what I mean? As in, I can't fault him, but do you know what? No, it's just now I think he gets away with far too much sometimes. I think Michael Massey does go a little easier on him sometimes. Not like I couldn't fault him on this race, and I do feel as well that it's someone else's time to shine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd be intrigued how Bottas does in the Alphas. Probably in exactly the same position as he is now, ironically. Sorry, I'm gonna cough. Hello, sorry. Right, let's talk about the crazy start. Hamilton. I mean, it was a mad start, but there's sort of it's I just put it when as our first headline. It was a crazy start, and then I went, actually, we're gonna have to take this bit by bit in some ways. Um, the first bit, if you will, is let's talk about Verstappen. What the hell was he doing on that start,
I mean,
pushing Hamilton into the pit exit?
exactly. Like usually he angles his car at the start line a
Yeah.
little more angle to actually like do a little overcut to overtake someone, but it was dead straight this time. But I felt he had such a bad start. He panicked. He didn't know what to do. He went straight for Hamilton.
Yeah, like I mean, the problem is that it's a bit that the the inside edge is actually in. It's a bit like Russia, isn't it? It's like the best place to be is you'd rather be in third than second
Yeah.
because you're on the outside edge, and you can get round. You know, oh, it's sorry, you'd rather be in second rather than first because you can actually get on the inside edge and get round. While being in first, you have to go round the outside and push in. So Hamilton had to. Sorry, I'm just trying to understand what Darren's on about. Hamilton had to then cut across and work out, but I still sorry. I'll start again. Verstappen had to cut across and hit into Alonso or move it into Alonso. Can I start again? Take 3. Hamilton. Oh Jesus! Verstappen had to crash into Hamilton almost just to get around that first corner, which allowed everyone. Which was interesting.
For everyone else.
Yeah, and it was interesting watching the team play of the Perez there as well, because
Yeah.
Perez Hamilton did get that inside edge.
Yeah.
You know, after almost, I think Verstappen dived in from the nose and didn't go round the corner and dived off wide, and Hamilton had to push him out because there was nowhere else for him to go, and he had to go tight around the corner, the first corner there. But Perez playing the game there of allowing him to pull through. Fair play on Perez there.
I think Perez knows his role in Red Bull this year.
Yeah, and he's still playing it, and he's. I think I do wonder if he's getting paid to be second to Verstappen as long as Verstappen's ahead of him. Do you know what I mean? By what, as long as he's the next line up, whether there isn't, I don't know how contracts work as to whether there is a contract deal that if you're ahead of your teammate by in one space, you have to let Verstappen through on this year, or what the team orders are, or how that works. But it was the right choice to make there, and as a team, and very much putting the company line on that one. And then let's talk about
Verstappen on camera anyway. I haven't seen probably too many angles, but it looked a bit too like vicious, too harsh, him going for Hamilton. I will say that.
Yeah, I think it was very aggressive, and I am surprised Hamilton didn't make more of it, or we didn't hear more of it from the radio, or anything, or why that wasn't quite questioned. I don't know the rules, but as far as I'm aware, you're not meant to cross the pit line. Are you allowed to cross the pit exit line like that, or if you're being pushed over? I don't know what the rules are on that, but normally you shouldn't be crossing that line.
Perez into the pit there only 2 weeks ago as well. But sure, no one talks about that.
No one talks about that. We won't be talking about that. Let's talk. Okay, so then coming up, the amazing battle between the Ferraris and
Ferraris. There was no battle with Leclerc. He was just solo.
Well, he was in there. There was a battle with Ricciardo. He had a battle with Ricciardo, and then there was originally around the first corner, and then it slipped back in the fight between Ricciardo and Sainz on the softs, and then Norris, who should have taken so many advantages Do you think he could have done better than Nando?
Absolutely.
Lando, even not Nando. Lando.
He has said it himself that he made a lot of mistakes this weekend and he didn't drive his best. He was very disappointed with his performance overall. So yeah, as in, I think he finished P8, but I mean that's he didn't do well at all this weekend. To be fair, you
No.
know, so many opportunities. I was listening to his team radio as well for the race as well. He's gone very quiet as well. He just wasn't in the right headspace at all.
Yeah, I
Um,
wonder what's going on with him. He wasn't himself this week, I don't think, on track or off the track.
well, he has been saying a lot recently. He's suffering with a lot of mental health issues of just trying to the pressure, more so the pressure of the off track, on track as well. So I feel if you look at old videos of Lando from last year, he's a lot different to this year, to be fair. Maybe actually even the start of the year, he's gone a lot quieter and everything. But
And what is that pressure? Is that pressure from Ricardo? Is that pressure from the team?
he said performance. I think
He's performing better than he did last year.
but he's performing a lot worse than he did at the start of the year. Like Lando had a great
But
start.
then he did that last year as well.
And it's just that pressure, he's still only 21 and it's a lot on him.
He's still fourth.
Yeah. Oh no.
I mean, he's dropped down to fourth. He was third.
Fair enough.
Bottas has now taken over.
Has he not gone
Oh,
from
fifth. Oh, has he gone down to fifth?
He's gone down to fifth. He was fourth. Like for a while, he was third. He was doing very well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bottas has actually kicked his gas into gear and actually got some points.
Yeah. So yeah, he's fifth now. So yeah, look, he had a great start to season. And I like they had a 1-2 brilliant, but obviously now his last, I don't know, 6 races, that's a guess. Haven't
Well,
been.
no, because well, you mean almost since his 1-2.
Yeah. No, actually before
Or
the
before.
2. Yeah. The
Well, the
1-2.
1-2 was sort of lucky, and no one can really deny that. Like,
Yeah, Hamilton and Verstappen had a crash
yeah.
and they had a great qualifying. Yeah,
But I don't like. Lando seems to have gone off the boil a little bit, and Ricardo seems to have gone on the boil, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a team dynamic, bearing in mind there's like Zach and his tattoo now. Is Lando becoming the favorite? And bearing in mind Lando was always Zach's boy.
Yeah.
And
Like
now Zach's got a new toy.
No, I don't think so. I think Lando is the long haul. I feel as well though that it was a bit there was certain things that were unfair on Lando this week. I feel that Sainz should have given Lando his position back. Sainz felt like he gave a position back to one McLaren and that should be enough. But he actually took the position off Lando. So his team orders gave him that saying, give the position back to Lando, and he never did. He wasn't penalised from it because I think the whole problem went with they pitted. You know what I mean? And
it was too messy to try. And then how do you hand a place back when you're in and out of pits? And
exactly. So there actually was a bit of time between them. Then see that was the problem, as in how can you lose that many seconds really? But look, in all fairness, what can you do? Do you know what I mean? P8 he finished. It's not where he should be finishing.
P8's right. P8's the bottom of where he should be finishing. P8's the worst he should be doing. But I bet it's still where he should be. Bearing in mind, you've got 2 Red Bulls, 2 Mercs, 2 Ferraris, and 2 McLarens.
I think he's better than the Ferraris. I rate Lando higher than Leclerc and Sainz.
Yeah, but you're also forgetting it's in a Mercedes engine. That engine is not good. Though that engine is problematic at the moment, and they're racing in a Mercedes engine, and the Ferrari's engine is now a lot better. They've fixed their problems, and they've got 2 decent drivers. That's where the problem is as well. That there's something going on with that engine. We all know that.
Yeah.
And that's gonna send chills through every race team, you know. Um, and
Yeah.
maybe like the minimum they should be doing, bearing in mind they're third in the championship and they're fighting third, fourth, and we're very close there. They should be anywhere between fourth and eighth.
Yeah.
Realistically,
Mhm.
anything better than anywhere between fourth and eighth is bonus. Anything less than fourth to eighth, you need to start looking at yourself. So as long as those four people stay fourth to eighth most of the time, that's where, apart from DNFs or crazy shit happening.
I just want to go and just say something that Tom has said. Tom gave position back, then he retook under orders.
Hang on. He gave position back and retook. Oh, he's talking about Fernando there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
For some reason, Darren and Tom are talking about Fernando. And Tom's not actually listening in. And I know this.
And Tom is going to kill me, right? Because out of all the messages there, I just hooked on Tom's only because I said it about the.
Tom's currently in tech of a show and has this on silent. I know he's not listening. Because if he's listening, he'll say bananas. I'll Tom, if you're actually listening, say the word bananas. Write the word bananas down in the chat. I don't believe you're listening. I think he's just come on for the chat.
I wonder. Yeah, I retook Lando. And see,
Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
he retook. Okay, Tom is listening. Oh, Tom's having a break, isn't he? Or he's finished. Nope, he retook Lando under DRS. Signs. Okay, so they're talking about what we were talking about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, sorry, I missed out that. So if you get back that position, fair enough. I was going by the radio, and it just kind of implied, as well as watching it, it implied that like Lando couldn't even catch up to Sainz.
Bananas, he's just said. So he's a good 3 minutes behind.
Fair enough. I am sorry, but I just thought that Will was saying to Lando on the radio was saying that Sainz has been ordered to give you back the space. And he said, look, he's been advised to, it might not happen. And then Lando said to him, I cannot take him over. I'm just not fast enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. As much as I love talking about Lando, and I could talk about Lando all day, we should talk about some other drivers. One of the other drivers that we should be talking about is what happened in the Canadian battle in that beginning as well, between Latifi driving straight into Stroll, or did he get squeezed? Or weirdly Latifi blamed the Haas, I think, the effing Haas, if I remember correctly.
I'll be bringing up Haas a lot during this show, by the way, especially
really?
Last lap. Yeah.
Well, we haven't got to Haas yet. So, like, whose fault was it? Was it? I mean, no one got any penalties. Nothing happened. No one under investigation for it. No penalty or anything. And so let's go with. So, and was it the Hasses?
No.
You just think Latifi just can't drive?
Latifi. I'm sorry. I like Latifi. I've nothing against him. I've nothing, bad to say. But I don't think it was the Haas. I think it was Latifi's error there.
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Do you know what, Stroll?
Stroll can't drive either.
Yeah. Do you know what? You've always liked Stroll.
Huh?
You've always liked Stroll, but I'm not a huge fan.
You were the one that texted me going, "Oh, we should all like Stroll because he's won F2, F3, F whatever, and he's done all this, but it's Daddy's money."
Oh, that wasn't me.
That was you. I'm sure you messaged me.
Oh, I sent that, but it was a joke.
Yeah. I'm not sure I quite believe you there.
Massive man.
Right, let's carry that. Is there anything else from that first lap? I think we've covered everything there.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
Alonso.
about that first lap, even
Sorry.
goes into the different speed difference between Mazepin and Mick Schumacher is
Yeah,
so.
Mazepin can't drive. Mick Schumacher can drive. My Mazepin can't drive. It's as, if you really cut it down, it's the same as Bottas and uh, and Hamilton. Hamilton can drive. They've in theory got the same car. He's a lot faster. He's half a lap faster. The thing that we've got there is Michael Schumacher's 2 laps faster, and Mazepin has to spin every time, and that's what happens. He actually ends up spinning quite and going off track because he literally can't drive. Also, that car is completely undrivable, and I think we'd all agree with that. But
Oh,
Mazepin's
all the Haas supporters in America this weekend. I don't think they knew
what the Mazepin can't drive.
who they were supporting, really.
Well, that's their American team
Yeah, exactly.
in the Russian flag. Right, let's talk about the Spaniard in the room, and it's not Bez for once. And his fight with the Italians, or wherever Raikkonen's from, and the Italian. So in my mind, what happened is, or from memory, is Alonso was battling Giovinazzi. Right, there was a battle with Raikkonen. They were going against it. They hit each other. Grand. You know, that was two old pair going at it. It was like two fuddy duddies having a fight. But then he tried to go up against the young buck of Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi doesn't push him out, and Alonso goes off the track and comes back off, gains a place, and has to then give it back. Correct? Let's take that instant first. Correct choice? Should have Alonso given that back?
But yeah, sorry, this was what happened. We found out later on that.
Don't worry, but go on.
Sorry, yeah. Go on.
Taking that incident on its own, was that the right thing? Was that the right choice?
Yeah.
He should have given the place back.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
giving places back.
Then Giovinazzi gets pushed out by Alonso, and then has to give the pace back again. Was that correct?
Yes.
Where could have Giovinazzi gone there? He had to go off. I don't think he was gaining any advantage from going off there.
Yeah, but when he came back on track, he overtook.
He gained a position. Giovinazzi gained a position, and then he had to give that position back to Alonso. So was that more of a tit for tat, or was it because with the officials had given that as the steward, had given that as, well, you had to give Alonso had to give the place back to you, so now you have to give the place back to Alonso.
For tat, wasn't it?
I'd like, or should have Alonso, or was Giovinazzi in the right and he should have kept that place?
No, I think he should have given it back. I think it was right. It should have been given back.
Genuinely. I think whatever happens, that Alpine at that point, the engine was that's a better car. The engine that to be honest, Alonso would have taken over Giovinazzi again.
Oh,
no matter what happened. So I think it's a bit of a moot point because Giovinazzi would never have been Alonso. Alonso is a better driver. Tom, I know you don't like him. Love you too, mate. But I know you don't like Alonso, but he is a better driver than Giovinazzi. And the fact we're arguing about Giovinazzi, it's quite hilarious because he's the most useless driver on there. Well, one of them. I don't think he's got a seat next year. Do you?
I don't think so.
Who's going in there then? One of the young bucks.
Well, see, I still think someone from like who I've said it for weeks and I can't even remember his name now. And I was saying, what about him? What's his name? I think
Um, not
he
Sergeant.
begins with S. Oh my gosh.
Sergeant.
No.
No, S.
I'm sure. Oh no, it might not even be S. No. He's one F2.
Who won F2? Darren, who won F2?
Oh my gosh. I'd like to, do you know what? Do you know what I am surprised that Mick Schumacher is not going into that seat.
Oh yeah.
I am like I thought he would.
It's the same world of pain. It's the same Ferrari world of pain. So why would you like? What does it gain anything by going into that engine car?
A better car, a better chance to prove himself. Do you know what I mean?
Or have Haas got actually something good for next year?
No, they don't have the money. Actually, even though next year is not about the money, I do understand that. But
It is sort of about the money. And it's sort of, I think, but yeah, everyone's sort of slightly level playing field. Schwartzman,
no,
Zhou,
no,
Piastri, Ticton, Pocher,
no. I literally don't know.
Lingard,
No, he's blind.
Liam Lawson.
Liam Lawson. I know has no. Sorry, one S.
Liam Lawson. There we go. Liam Lawson, ironically, would it be better in the Haas? Isn't he American? Maybe I'm wrong.
Who would
Anyway,
love someone else come up?
sorry.
It'd be lovely to see someone else coming up.
Yeah, it would be, but Liam Lawson's currently 8th. So yeah. In the F2 standings there.
To be fair, it
Right.
was a bit of a boring race.
Okay. Hang on. Okay. Let's go into this then, because both the Alpines then retired. So there must have been although they're slagging off the bloody Merc engine, there must be something wrong with the Alpines. Maybe not the engine, to be fair. I think it was suspension on the bumpy track there.
Oh yeah.
Or something with the rear wing. Or I think there was a rear wing issue with it. I know that the Alpha Tauri also had the same issue because Gasly got retired out. No major there were just retirements as opposed to major issues or anything. Right, let's talk about the two-stop strategy. I never understand these things because I quite understand the tires. I don't understand why some races are one stop and some races are two stop.
Well, do you know what? There was no way that one set, like, you needed more tires for that track between the heat, how bumpy it was, how that track actually is. It's very coarse. They were saying on the tires would have never survived. In all fairness, so I think, do you know what I've heard from all the drivers, that how physical this race was, and even just trying to maintain their tires like for the whole race has been, even with two stops. So there was never a chance of being a one stop. But well, I was so shocked at Sainz. Who started on softs?
Sainz and Tsunoda.
Noda. What were they doing? In all fairness,
Oh, they had to because they qualified on.
oh my
So they
God.
had no choice. Everyone else started on mediums, but they had no choice because they qualified in Q2 on them. So once you qualify in your fastest timing in Q2, that's where you go on.
Yeah, fair enough.
So they had no choice, which is why then Sainz tried to ditch them as quickly as he could almost. Not that you could have done any other choice. So talking about the two-stop strategy, massive undercut by Hamilton originally. Not Hamilton, sorry, Verstappen originally. That sort of worked.
Well, yeah, no, it worked.
And then he sort of tried to undercut again.
Yeah, and then Hamilton
massively, and then sat on those tires.
Hamilton decided to push and just keep going. And just, you know what, it like when Hamilton did do his second pit stop, oh my gosh, as in like that those seconds were really decreasing fast between them, in all fairness. But like Verstappen was trying to maintain his tires. So
Yeah.
he said that that's why he was the seconds were like really going.
So the questions are: Did Max and Red Bull? Well, sorry, did Red Bull feck it up for Max, and Max had to play the tie game?
Do you know what? How can you say did they feck it up when he won? Do you know what I mean?
But it would have there been a better strategy if, and the only reason it would could have Max's life been made easier by a
Mhm.
better strategy.
Yeah. But do you know what? They would need to know what Mercedes were going to do. Do you know what? It's always impossible to know. And like you know yourself, the person who's in second nearly has it easier on the strategy.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
feel, and
yeah, unless you win on the undercut, and that's where they tried to win. The undercut sort of only works if you're going on to softs at the end. I feel sometimes. Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
know.
Maybe that undercut, massive undercut, is that you're going onto faster tires and you've got to get around as quick as possible in that time
You know what?
compared to someone on
Another
old mediums that are going around slower. But when you're
like
going on
Hamilton
to
knows
another set of mediums or hards, it doesn't seem to make sense to try and do the undercut.
then they were fresher than Verstappen's.
Sorry.
They were a lot fresher than Verstappen's.
Yeah,
So I know
they were the tires were a lot fresher, and but then okay, so then playing it the other way round, did Mercedes feck up Hamilton's chances, or was there no other strategy that would have worked?
he just even Toto said that their strategy didn't pay off. You know
Well,
what
the
they
strategy could have been what they did the same as Hamilton. They did the undercut. They they just pitted as soon as
yeah,
Hamilton did it.
Verstappen.
Yeah, sorry, Hamilton um, pitted as soon as Verstappen pitted. Would that would that have
Yeah.
gained them? Would that gained him anything?
Do you know what? Who knows? But at least there wouldn't have been that massive gap, and it would have been more head to head towards the end, which Hamilton might have just.
What was the gap
Um,
before? Do you remember what the gap was between them going into the pit, between Verstappen going into the pits the second time?
no, I cannot remember.
I can't remember. I just wondered as to how
When
big that gap was.
when Lewis came out of that gap, I felt there was a huge gap for him to, take on. But he was eating it. Literally, it was 2 seconds a lap. He was doing so well. But yeah, he had new tires, and
Yeah, and
why not?
Paris played the game there as well, very well. Um,
This is the
like he's
tires.
definitely the company man, isn't he,
Yeah,
at the moment? Um, oh, so also to add to the fun, um, there was your favorite Haas team got involved.
exactly. I do not know what Mick Schumacher was doing at the end because he was being lapped. I don't know why, like the team were shouting out blue flags, you know what I mean, as in, but he wasn't letting go. He could have pulled over a lot earlier than he did because it really
Do you think
nearly
he could?
cost
He was going through
Verstappen
the
the win.
snake, wasn't he? That long, that
No,
amount of.
it was before it. It was definitely before it. 100%. I only watched it again today and I just thought, whoa, you're so lucky, as in they're so lucky that I
Really?
didn't cost him the win there.
I mean, I don't think it would have cost anyone the win, would it? Because he held up both of them as long as us, you know. Well, I suppose Hamilton was on the fresh tires, so it could have.
See, as well as in so he was holding Verstappen up for a while, but when he let through Verstappen, he also let through Hamilton.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I feel anyway. But I just kind of thought, geez,
Was that what reasoning do you think that was? Bearing in mind Mick Schumacher is not Mazepin,
no, no.
and there was no unless
And there's no bad blood.
and there was no bad blood. It wasn't as if even it was company high up orders from
No.
Ferrari, if you will, in the same way that AlphaTauri sometimes tries to hold up
Mhm.
Mercedes unofficially.
Yeah.
There's no high up orders from Ferrari with Haas. It wasn't like he was holding up um, Perez so that Leclerc could get through.
Yeah.
I
No,
didn't think there's, um, I don't quite understand as to why he did that.
no, and I think everyone from Red Bull between Horner and Verstappen, even in interviews, they mentioned him because it was that last thing that just nearly cost him.
Yeah,
Hamilton never got within 1 second in DRS zone,
yeah.
max rolling race. I feel, and I could be very wrong, Darren, that I feel that Hamilton did. I'm very shocked
He did, but then went straight back out of it. He never actually hit the zone.
because when I
Every,
was kneeling on the lounge and Killian was like, "What are you doing, Mom?" Kneeling on the floor and looking up at the TV. He said, "What are you doing?" I think he was under a second because I was like, "Oh my God, he's in DRS."
he was in DRS. He was under the second, but in the DRS zone or the DRS checkpoint or whatever the heck they call it. He never crossed that line under DRS
All
to get
right.
the second. He gained they sped up. So yeah, he did go under a second, but he was never actually in DRS.
Okay, fair enough.
In the zones or the right time,
So,
speed
in
traps,
zone.
DRS traps. That's the word.
Yeah,
I don't
sorry.
know.
I read that wrong. Well, I didn't kind of read it, but
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. So when I was looking at him, he was under.
Yeah, he was under a second. I agree, but he wasn't in the traps. Um, Anything else that you think is worth noting or talking about that I've missed from this race?
Driver of the day.
No. We've got to do standings first, just to pick up the standings, say where we are. We have Kubica, no one cares. Mazepin in 20th, Schumacher in 19th, Giovinazzi, who is so leaving Alfa Romeo in. Oh, I've just pressed buttons. This is what happens. Tom normally does this, and I don't. Giovinazzi in 18th, Raikkonen in 17th, Latifi in 16th. I love that Latifi is so high up. It's shocking. How is he there? George Russell in 15th. Sonoda, oh dear, you should be doing better in 14th. Stroll, oh, should be doing better in 13th. Vettel, oh, you should be doing better in 12th. Ocon in 11th. Alonso in 10th. That's where you should be. Pierre Gasly in 9th. I thought he was doing better.
I know he's done so. Yeah, I'm shocked that he's ninth. But then again, look at the amount of people that are above him who
Yeah.
just be in that kind of
Yeah,
place.
he's in where he should be. He's in the same way, the AlphaTauris are, the fifth best team on that grid, and he is in the fifth best position. But again, he's playing around with the Alpines and the Astons. There's quite a few teams in there that should be there. Daniel Rick in 8th, Sainz in 7th, bearing in mind this is Sainz' first year in a Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing very well. 6th, Leclerc in a Ferrari. There's actually not that many points between them. Sainz 122.5 points and Leclerc has 128. So they're actually quite interchangeable. Norris with 149, Perez with 150.
Yeah.
So Perez has actually dropped back weirdly, and Bottas has jumped up to 185. So Perez is third at the moment. Mercedes is second, and Verstappen is first. which is why Mercedes are doing so well.
Yeah.
Because Mercedes have got less wins but more podiums. 21 podiums to 17 podiums for the Red Bull, and 460 points to Red Bull's 437 points. McLaren as 254, while Ferrari is 250.5. It's a real battle between that Ferrari and the McLaren, isn't it?
Yeah, and as I said in Austin, that it's very important who gets third because of the dollars. Do you know what I mean? But
dollars.
Won it, so it's a shame.
I'm hoping McLaren, but I don't know if they can hold on. Those Ferraris are coming for them.
Sorry, at the weekend you felt like they'll do it. They'll do it.
I genuinely did think, and they did. I mean, he came in fourth.
The power unit that no, but you think that McLaren
I hope McLaren will do it, but
you think McLaren will do it till the end in third?
I don't think they're such a shoe-in, but I think they've got a. It's a shoe-in. It's a Ferrari or McLaren now. It's a 2-horse race.
Better drivers, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, or Sainz and Leclerc, who are the two combined?
I don't know, but I'd love to see Leclerc and Norris together
on a team.
Yeah,
that won't happen.
Norris... I know it won't because they're the young rivals, but I'd love to see them on a team. That'd be great. Those two are the two future. Them and Russell are the 3 future champions.
But Russell will be a lot sooner than those two, though.
Who knows what the new car and new engines and new everything's going to be like next year in the Mercedes?
Hopefully, it's going to be exciting.
The problem that McLaren have is they don't have their own supply. They're not their own supplier. They're not their own constructor. In the sense of the engines, so they take it. That's the problem with McLaren. McLaren will find it hard to get up there, and although Red Bull are not an engine manufacturer, they are because Honda own them. Honda owns the engines, and they're
well, they had a lot more money to spend. Yeah. To be honest, even not this year, last year when they moved to Honda. It was just spending to get the engine.
So I think McLaren are doing the best for what they've got.
Yeah.
And the better driver. I still think, I think to go back onto your question, as much as I think it's Leclerc and Sainz.
Yeah. I prefer McLaren. I prefer Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo, but together Sainz and Leclerc
are strong.
Are stronger than those pair. Yeah.
I think it's weirdly Danny Rick that's the weakest link.
Yeah. Oh, bless him. Hopefully since Monza. As in, look at him this weekend. Was it?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Decent.
The problem is he's an older man now.
Yeah.
And he's not got that much longer in it.
He defends very well.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, do you know what? He defended Sainz, and they were battling for a long time in us. So fair play. Do you know what? He's an now lad, 33. But in all fairness, he has a
but he's got he's playing against people that are 10 years younger than him.
Yeah, but you know what? I think my favorite would be my favorite defender in racing Formula 1 is Alonso. I think he's, oh my gosh.
Alonso's a scrappy racer.
Yeah.
He's a very scrappy racer, and he's also a very clever racer. He's been there a long time. Raikkonen can be a clever racer. He's just can't be asked anymore.
Yeah. In all fair.
Okay, let's talk about driver and dick of the day then.
Okay.
Driver of the day?
Driver of the day, for me, is Daniel Ricciardo.
I have to agree.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Shocking. No, I think he played a drive. He battled, he fought,
Yeah.
he drove as best he could in that car. The honourable mention would be Leclerc,
Yeah. Yeah.
and also Perez would be honourable mentions.
The
But
reason personal for me is because he wasn't fighting anyone. He was out in front. He just raced.
well, even in the post-show interview, he even admitted you wouldn't have seen me much because I was just on my own, just driving around in circles.
In all fairness, so where I feel Ricardo has it is, do you know what he
It's hard. It's hard with his driver of the days because Leclerc did exactly what he was meant to do, stayed out of the way, and did better than he should have.
Yeah. And
how's that not a good driver?
Sorry?
Well, you've then got people scrappying in, you know.
Like if Hamilton and Verstappen did crash, like that, I thought they would have. Leclerc would have been on the podium. Do you know?
Yeah.
Happy days. So in all fairness, so who's your dick of the day, Carl?
I mean, there's a few honourable. There's a few people that could be.
Yeah.
One is obviously Mick Schumacher for that fatal error at the end.
But you know
Was
what?
that dickish, or was that just stupidity? And was that just naivety and
If
rookie?
it cost Verstappen the win, he would have been up there.
I don't think it was a deliberate move.
No,
I think it was just he. I don't want to defend him too much, but I don't think he was. You've also got Mr. You've also got the Alonso, and that scraps, and you've got Raikkonen as well.
Straws here, Carl.
Huh?
You're clutching at straws.
No, but like they and then you've also got Latifi in some ways.
You're scraping bottom of the barrel.
Barrel here to shook. No one will get that. No one in any of the world will understand.
I feel that Tom will sniff it out.
You're scraping the bottom of the barrel there to shook. Just if anyone's really trying to work out what we're on about, we have a local TD.
You're going into it. Okay.
Yes, we have a local TD called
Michael Healy-Ray.
Michael Healy-Ray. And he's just mental. Just look him up. He's our local mentalist that somehow gets away with a lot. Anyway, who do you think then? I'm going to let you go first. Go on.
All right. Okay. Well, originally...
Ladies first.
Oh, wow. That's the first time you're letting me go first in our marriage. Just saying that. So in all fairness, I don't know how it takes the podcast to let that happen. So I was originally going for signs for not giving the place back to Lando. It was small, but as Tom has pointed out...
Sorry, this is what decision you made over the whole day today, and Tom's comment has now elbowed it.
Well, do you know what? If he has seen something that
Fair.
I haven't, I have to do with
yeah, this is the problem. We don't watch the tracker almost, to see everything, what's going on.
But the team radio did imply that Lando never got ahead of signs.
Yeah.
And that's it. But do you know what? I'm going to say the McLaren tactics team for messing up Lando's pit stops because they didn't do him justice. And my second dick of the day was originally my driver of the day, but I've taken off the driver of the day off him and given him the dick of the day after rewatching his first lap, and that's Max Verstappen. You go into my driver of the day, and then
I mean, that was a really dick start. I have to admit that was a really dick start. Feck it, let's give it to Verstappen because that was a dick move.
It looked, do you know what? And
it just looked desperate, didn't it, actually? And it didn't. Anyway, there we go. Cool. I know there's some stuff that happened in W Series. I know we've got a winner in W Series, but neither me or Laura watched it.
I feel like I'm going to, though.
No, you don't. When are you going to get time to watch W series? And also, there was an Extreme E as well, which we haven't caught up on. Tom, maybe next week, we've got a week off. Maybe we should talk about these other series because we've sort of let them slide.
44.
Sorry?
X44.
X44, well done.
Leading.
Yeah, we need to talk about Extreme E. We need to talk about. Actually, we should try and get Ian on because that would actually tick both boxes because it's Veloce.
Thanks for having me.
Anyway, Laura's still here. So we are going to say goodbye. See you on the next one. We might do one next week, depending on what Tom's doing. He hasn't got any shows next week. So anyway, we see what's going on and we might talk about some other series. Let's see what happens. And we'll be back in 2 weeks' time because weirdly, Mexico is in 2 weeks' time, even though it's right next door to Texas, where we just were. And then we've got Mexico, Brazil, and then Qatar in a 3-week hit. And I'm filming all the way through that. So I doubt we get to see. We won't watch this together. Be a bit weird. Anyway, go on. Oh, she's got something to say.
I'd like your opinion on Max Verstappen not being in the next season of Drive to Survive.